Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show, Women Crushing It Wednesdays. I got my girl Nancy in the house. Nancy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, especially now that we're together tonight. I'm ready. I'm
Yay!
excited.
Yes, I'm so
You-
super excited too. G Funky, hello,
G
hello.
Funky.
And yes, one more subscriber to get me to 500 hits. Please hit that subscribe button. Like, share, all of the above. You will not be disappointed. I promise. I guarantee. I guarantee. So, Nancy, let's talk about your new role as co-host at HCP. Let's talk about that. Congratulations, first of all. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about that. You take the floor.
I'm so excited. First of all, G Funky's on, and I am like in no way, shape, or form like trying to fill that man's shoes. I said, listen, I'm gonna keep your shoes right there. I'm gonna dust them off. I'm gonna keep them polished. When you come
Aw.
back, the shoes are gonna be there. Because I admire him so much. I've told him he's just so good at analyzing fights and fighters, and have always just admired. And he and D Style have been so welcoming. So I was so excited at the opportunity, to now be a part of the show every Tuesday night. So please make sure that you continue to join us Tuesday nights. And then, of course, you know that the Queens are here every Wednesday night. But I'm excited. And I did
It
tell
is
people, I
exciting.
said, okay, y'all, like take it easy on me. And
You
but
did
I'm
great.
joking.
Love G
Thank
Funky.
you.
Love him. You did great. You're a great addition. You're a great, absolute
Thank
addition.
you. I'm excited
Soapbox.
about it.
Soapboxing podcast. Hello, Sean. Hello, Jesus.
There's
Saludos.
Sean. Hey Sean,
Yes.
awesome job. I watched Sean on another podcast on
Oh my
Monday.
gosh, you have to share it because I
Yep.
didn't I didn't I missed it, so I definitely want to see it.
Yep.
They
I
rather
need to share it.
Yes, please share it. Greetings, ladies. So no, but yes, congratulations for that. It was a great show. I was on for a while. Y'all were talking about my triple G, you know,
Yes.
Soriano lot. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, my my
I had you
boy.
though, girl. I had you. Did you
You
hear me?
did.
I
You
tried.
had my back. I was like, typing away, these styles, kind of poking at me a little bit, but it's all good. It's all in fun. We know the real deal. We know the real
Yeah.
deal.
Yep. It was a really good show. It's in archive now. So, everybody please make sure to watch. And for those that are on already, you see Sean Fitzgerald, that's on the chat. So Sean is the founder of this awesome nonprofit. I think everybody knows I'm still working towards building my 501c3. And Sean has been super amazing, sharing like his journey, sharing his resources with me. And Christine, that Sean's organization actually had scholarships for some of the boxers during the pandemic, like hard hit, that were also
Wow.
going to college. And
That
so
is
with
beautiful.
these scholarships, they were able to pay their tuition and other expenses because it was a tough year. So
Absolutely.
really great organization, and it's called Just Boxing. So
Just
everybody, please
boxing.
make sure you go check that out.
I'm gonna definitely check that out for sure. I appreciate you sharing that, and thank you, Sean. That's amazing. We need more people like you. So Boxing Podcast says, Coach, I need to send you my teal cam reaction I did on Fighters Rep Pod. Yes, I want to know, and we're actually going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the fight for sure. Lee Groves, greetings, salutations, and congratulations,
Lee,
Nancy.
thank you. And Lee had a very successful. If you didn't get a chance to watch, he was going to be at a library doing a book talk. So congratulations, Lee. I know that went really well.
Yes, and yes, Lee, you can subscribe twice. You can subscribe as many times as you want. So let's get right into it. I want to get right into Teal Cambosos. What was your reaction, Nancy? When you were going into the fight before it even like began? Who did you have? Did you think Teal was gonna totally like kill Cambosos, or did you know that it was
Yes.
gonna be 50-50?
I'm gonna keep it real. I was going for Teofimo. I felt before the fight that Teofimo was coming in the stronger of the two. Um, I had seen Kambosos in other fights and still felt that Kambosos has the speed, but felt that Teofimo could come in there, with the faster hands. You know, round one, I've already watched it like 3 times. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he came out like a bat out of hell.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he had no game plan. And I was like, what is going on? And I admire how Kambosos was continuously, like, he was focused, establishing that jab, not buying into the fight that Teofimo was trying to make. And I think that we saw that composure throughout the fight. And I do feel like he can attribute, that composure, to the win, or the win, to the composure, you know what I'm saying? But it,
Yeah,
it's,
absolutely.
it was a great fight. It was a really great fight. But man, I was not expecting. I was expecting more. Let's just say that
Yeah.
from Teofimo. I really was. I was expecting more from his corner. I know I've heard a couple of some mixed reactions. Right. You of course know from experience, Christine, the importance of keeping your fighter motivated.
Yes.
Um, but
And
also
calm.
and calm.
Relax.
Um, but also how important that honesty is. And someone said, well, that's Teofimo and his dad, like they have their language, that's how they communicate. Okay, but fan outside looking in, I'm like, he's confusing the heck out of Teofimo, and he's not really offering any clear direction. Where you
Right.
looked at Cambosos's corner, very composed,
Yeah.
right?
Centeno's
It
awesome. Yes.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, I did give, of course, Teofimo a couple rounds, but not 10. Like he's
No.
claiming he won 10 of the
Yeah,
rounds.
no. And the thing is this, you have to think about it. They're human, okay? Yes, they're boxers. Yes, they do things that we wouldn't do, or that we've tried
Hmm.
and failed miserably, or we haven't failed miserably. The thing is, your body's in a state of panic and emergency. Someone is coming after you, and they are throwing shots.
Yep.
You know, it is life
Yep.
and death when you step into the ring. Your corner has got to be calm and composed, and has to make sure that you're breathing, that you're cooled down, that you have clear instruction. Your brain is going 90 to nothing. You don't need five different things to do, or just, oh, go kick his ass. You need, hey, I
Hmm.
need you to use your jab. Hey, be sure you're keeping your hands up. Hey, take your feet with you when little
Hmm.
instruction, because you think their mind is not right because they're being attacked 90 to nothing. And he didn't get any of that. He didn't get any of that. And no wonder he was so wound up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Lee
Well,
Grove says, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, well, I was just going to say really quick, and I'm sure Lee can also comment to this, but we know that whether you're a boxer or not, when you have any type of anxiety or you're like pumped up, that adrenaline is burning energy, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're coming in, he came out the gate, right, out the corner, right,
Mm-hmm.
just with that burst of energy, that adrenaline, that's energy that he really should have reserved. I did see, and I'm curious if the chat saw this as well. In as the fight progressed, you can see Tio like just breathing.
Yes.
Now I did see his comment in Twitter or wherever he made it that he was fighting pneumonia. I don't know what truth there is to that, but you can see as a fight progresses that Teofimo is just breathing in deeper. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't the pneumonia, I do think that it's because he did burn so much of that energy that he really should have reserved for the rest of the fight.
Yes, and you need to take those deep breaths through your nose, out through your
Mm-hmm.
mouth, or out through your nose. You can't, you start to hyperventilate, and that's not good. Lee Grove
Yeah.
says Tio's game plan was to murderize as fast as possible, and George, despite all the pre-fight bluster, was as calm as he could be, and that is so true. We
Yeah.
have somebody joining our feed. Um, and Team Munoz says, get them likes up. Yes, please get them likes up. So this is our girl Chicken.
Thank you, twin.
We're still, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Lee Groves. Hey girl, we're talking about the Teofimo Cambosis fight. How you doing? You're frozen. You're frozen. Can you hear me?
There she is.
Yeah, turn your phone. Turn your phone. Lee Grove says by saying he won 10 rounds, was Teal thinking the fight was 100 rounds long? Exactly. I mean, it was ridiculous. The Dawn Salute Ladies
Yep.
Soapboxing Podcast says, see, he was
Yeah.
reciting what his dad convinced him of. Yes. Can you hear us, Chicken?
Yep.
I wanted to say one thing that I do is I like to watch leading up to the fights. I like to see what the athletes are doing. I saw that Tio was making appearances. While Kambosos was training, there was some information that I knew. He was having some issues. Some of his team was no longer with him. So there was a lot of things going on. So honestly, I knew that this was not going to be the same Tio that we had seen, in the Lomo fight or other fights previous. So I was like, okay, this, in the state that he's in right now, it's going to be a 50-50 fight. But it was, to me, it was a washout. Kambosos did his thing, and all the props to him. And the funny thing is, why now everybody wants to fight Kambosos? Like, come on, man.
Yes, I'll tell you, like maybe like a bit of a, for me, and then we can talk about everybody now coming after him. Just some thoughts on what you touched on, where I did feel like there were a lot of distractions, right? Again, outside looking in, he was very busy, but yes, we knew he was in the gym, but he was very busy with the promotions, with the sponsors, with social media, doing a lot of that. And if you notice in the fight, so everybody go back and watch. I think you can count how many times he does this. Many times he's looking in the middle of the fight, he's looking straight into the camera and smiling and winking, and it's like, oh my gosh, focus on your fight, focus in the ring. And if you're worried about about the cameras on you, and you're wanting to turn around and smile at the camera, that is a problem. That right there, that alone, tells me like his head just was not all in it.
Right.
So, but now, okay, so Kambosos is the champ. Everybody wants a piece of him.
Yeah.
But Sutter Kane on last night's show said it best. So I'm going to use his term. They are all they're clout chasing.
Yeah.
So they want the fight. I don't think because they want the fight in, like in the usual sense of, want to make this fight happen. I think they now want it because Kambosos is the one that's going to give them the most visibility, the following.
Are they okay? Yes, I agree with the clout chasing, but are they clout chasing, or is it they think that Kambosos is going to be an easy win? That's more what I think. Remy, hello.
I just
it seems to me that they think that Tio should have just totally knocked him out, but he was not mentally or physically prepared to do that. So they feel like he is not really the champ that should be holding the belt, and that he's going to be an easy win. That's the way I'm taking it. That they're discrediting him. They're not giving him the credit for beating Tio, and he outboxed him.
Big time.
He hurt him. Did we not see his head? Did we not see his face?
Yep.
He obviously has some power. He has the stamina, the conditioning.
Speed. We saw that speed too.
Absolutely. Yep. And he didn't look winded at all. So the thing is that they might think he's an easy win, but he's going to give people a run for his money. He really is.
I agree with you on that. I don't think he's gonna, just kind of be transitional in and out. I think he's, gonna reign for likely longer than Teofimo did.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see who's next. We got to get Haney through JoJo this weekend, see what the outcome of that is. Assuming, I'm going for JoJo. Assuming it's Haney, though,
Uh-huh.
thinking ahead, we've talked about how, we really don't want to think ahead too
Too much.
far,
Yeah.
too much. But when I think about who I would want Cambosos to fight next, I would like to see him against Haney.
Yeah. And before we give our predictions on that fight, you gave yours. I'm gonna give you mine. But what is next for Tio? I mean, what is going to be next for him in your eyes? What is he
Yeah.
going to do?
That's a good question, because you hear his dad talk about, he stayed in this weight class too long. We should have moved up, a year ago, 2 years ago. And, I think that is going to be what's next. I think that he is going to move up. And, now thinking through, well, if he moves up, who's there for him to fight? Who does it make, the most sense for him to fight? Definitely something to think about.
Well, and the thing is this, so he moves up in weight, but what changes? Just the weight.
To 140.
I mean, is he going to keep
Yeah.
his father around? Still?
Exactly.
Is he going to have the same mentality? We all have personal things going on in our lives that affect us. Is that going to change for him? What is he going to do?
Right. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking the dad is thinking, that they're going to move up, they go to 140, and they want to go straight to the top and go, straight to like a Josh Taylor, right?
Right.
But I would disagree with that. I don't think that in moving up, that should be the target.
No.
Honestly, I might want to see him more with like, I don't know, like a Sean Cepeda, maybe start there. I think that would make for a good fight. But I bet that's what's going to happen. Dad's going to say, let's move up. And dad's going to start now saying, we want Josh.
Yeah. Santel Media says TR has killers at 140. Yeah. Jose Ramirez, Sean Cepeda, Honor de Barbosa.
There you go.
Etc.
Yeah.
But
Barbosa, that's right.
This is the thing. If you do it right, and you have the right people around you, you can continue making this weight. He didn't have the right people around him for this camp.
Yep.
So
you can start your period.
The cure all. Chicken, what's up, girl?
Y'all can hear me?
Says, yeah, we can hear you and we can see you. Woo! I was like, what is going on with her internet?
I'm in my car. I had just finished my abs and stuff. I gotta keep these abs on point.
Yeah, I know we gotta keep those abs washboard tight. I know, girl.
Yeah, so if anybody needs their clothes washed, holla at me.
Absolutely. Lee Grove says Taylor has a mandatory against Catterall in February. Yes. So it'll be at least summer before a TO fight would happen. But Josh Taylor is thinking about going at 147. Yes, I did hear that, which would free up the belts at 140.
He said it. Josh Taylor told us at the Crawford fight, he was like, he gonna do the title defense in February. He was like, he was, I guess they do Catterall probably and all that, because he made it seem like he was not all that. And he was like, he gonna see about after that if he gonna defend it against somebody like T.O. or whatever, or if he just gonna go up to 146. He said this out his mouth.
Yeah, because y'all did have a moment. Y'all were dressed the same, and you told him he. Because
I know how amazing.
Be his black girlfriend.
How amazing was it that y'all were dressed?
She sure did tell him that.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
The GOAT Mario.
He's really cool.
Taylor losing sleep ever since Tia lost. He don't want no type of smoke at 147. He's food at welterweight. You know what? I don't think he's worried about it. I really don't.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah. He didn't seem like he seemed very confident. And we'll just see what happens. But I think before we move on, I just want to say, Teal's got to make a lot of changes. I think he needs to have come
A
to
new
Jesus
coach.
meeting. It's hard. That's his dad. I understand, but it just depends on how far you want to go and what you want to do. And sometimes you got to make those hard choices. You really do. But so did both of you see the Showtime show too, the Fulton and Figueroa?
I didn't even get to watch that one because I was yes.
Okay, Nancy, did you
But
see that
but
fight?
from what I was hearing, I was hearing that people don't feel like people feel like the fight was a draw. They don't feel like Fulton won. And I don't know how true it is. That's what you've been seeing too.
I would have been happy with a draw. I would have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nancy, what did you think? Did you think Fulton
So I didn't watch the fight in its entirety. I was
Okay.
watching the clips. Yeah, I was watching the clips, and from what I saw, first of all, I like Brandon. I think I just like Brandon. I mean, he's a good fighter, and was rooting for him. So from what I saw, though, I mean, Fulton really did go in there and put in a good fight, but it I would, from what I saw, it's really like a more of a draw. I
Yeah.
would have been, I think, happier that it was a draw instead of
Yeah.
Fulton, to be honest. I mean, yeah, that's just my opinion. And he's talking about moving up too. Brandon's talking about
very
moving up.
talented. He is. There's no denying
Mhm.
that. Julius Streeter said, "Cool boy Steph should be in the top 15 pound for pound. The man has beat 10 undefeated fighters. He is very talented. He is. I mean, he is his conditioning. Oh my God! Because let me tell you something. Figueroa was landing those body shots like nobody's business, and this is where I had the problem. If you go back and watch the fight, I would have been happy with a draw. Okay, do I think it was a robbery that Figueroa just no, I don't. I think it should have been a draw. Or I think Figueroa edged it out only because of the body shots that were landed. And a lot of people say, oh, they don't count the body shot. Yes, they do, or they should. They should count the body shots. And so but I'm not mad. I'm not mad that Fulton won. He did a great job. He's proved to be a warrior.
Yeah, they said it was a great fight.
It was
I mean,
a great fight.
from what I saw, I mean, they were just toe to toe the whole fight.
The whole time
Yep.
they were. And
Yep.
also, but Fulton had his back to the ropes, and that's another
Mhm.
thing that Figueroa was backing him up, putting him on the ropes. That's another thing why I thought that Figueroa had inched it out. Lee Grove said, "I saw the Fulton Figueroa fight, 114, 114 depends on what you like. Figueroa's aggression and work rate, or Fulton's clean, easily seen headshots. Absolutely, I agree with that. Tons of hard shots to score round by round." Yeah, Lee Grove said, and Fulton's rib must be made of titanium. I know. I was just like, this boy is in condition because he could take those shots. Yes, Julia Streeter said, cool boy Steph and Figueroa have the best conditioning in boxing. They threw freaking hundreds of shots the whole fight. They were toe to toe in the phone booth, in the pocket, whatever you want to say. They were toe to toe, and it was a great fight to me. It really was.
So if he moves up, who would he fight? He's not going into 126 where you have Leo, you have Navarrete. So thinking
It's gonna be
through,
interesting.
I'm trying
it's
to
gonna be interesting
yeah,
to see the next move. It really is. But you know what? Like I said, overall, I'm not mad. There were people saying that it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. I would have been happy with a draw. I would be happy with a rematch. I would like to see a rematch. I really would. I would like to see what they do to change, like what their next game plan would be to meet each other. I really do. Yeah.
Julius, I agree
Yeah,
with
Leo
you.
Santa
Like, I'd
Cruz.
be okay with Leo Brandon. I think, yeah, I'd be okay with that. I think that would, be a good fight. I think it'd be honestly a bit similar to what we saw with Fulton. Some of that toe to toe, because Leo will just stand in there, and box. So I think that would make for a really good fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Santiago Media, Figueroa headlined here in Ontario, California, a couple years ago on PBC on Fox when Victor Ortiz was having legal issues. They're both, he and his brother Brandon, they go. The thing that really makes me cringe is that their defense, they have no defense. Like they take too many headshots, but they can go.
Yeah, and you saw that. You saw that.
Yeah, they're both strong. They're very heavy-handed.
What I like about Brandon too, I like that Brandon does use that height reach advantage, against opponents the way that we would expect someone with a height reach advantage to use it. So he does a really good job with that, establishing the distance. But as we saw, I mean, he's good. It's just, toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I was talking to Chicken today. Chicken, we were talking today. Let me read Lee Grove's comment. Then we're going to talk about what you want to talk about, because I know you're busy, but we're going to talk about that too. So Lee Grove says Figueroa said he doesn't want to make another weight cut. So I think the rematch is out. Santa Cruz Figueroa would pair the current volume punching. King versus his heir apparent. Would love to count it. Yeah, that would be awesome. It would.
Yeah.
But so I was talking to Chicken today, and she was on a live. Let's talk about this live. Let's talk about what happened today. You had called me. You wanted me to jump on this live, but I was obviously in training with Team USA.
Yes.
So I couldn't. But
if I tell y'all, it was going the TF down. It was going the TF down.
Okay, who were you on a live with? What was going on?
So today I'm just riding around, and on Instagram I get one of my friends is going live with Jamie Mitchell, the newly crowned super bantamweight WBA champion, world champion.
Okay, Jamie Mitchell. Okay.
Because I've been waiting for stuff like this. And so she so we get on there. When I first get on there, she's hi Chicken, and I'm like, hi. I ain't know we were friends because I've said it on here. I don't really like her.
So have y'all fought before? Give people some background. How do you know this girl? Have y'all fought before? Like what? How do you know this girl?
I'm Jamie Mitchell's first draw. I really supposed to be in her first loss, but they gave it a draw. But hey, it don't matter because at the end of the day, the media made it seem like she was finna come down here and just do me in because she was an Olympic alternate. She was known in the boxing world already and all this stuff. And of course, I was not having it.
Right.
And so the fight ended up coming to a draw. I think you had did you go live on that fight?
Yes, I did.
There was a couple of people went live, so you can get.
Look for it on Facebook, everybody.
Yes.
And so,
we know what a draw means. We know what a draw means.
Yes.
It means that
because
absolutely. So tell everybody.
She should have came on with it.
And tell everybody what you have coming up next, or what you're planning on having next. You just left the gym. You may have some stuff coming up. Can you let anything out of the bag?
Well, I'm trying to see about fighting on this December the 17th card here in Dallas. I'm ready to fight again. I want to fight back at home. So many people been asking me when I'm fighting. So I'm trying to, hopefully I can get on that December 17th card.
Okay. So we would.
Because at the end of the day, huh?
No, I was like, we would definitely.
I would say I'm ready. I'm ready for this fight.
Definitely.
Yes, because the fight that I was supposed to fight in this past weekend, she ended up pulling out in order to fight a weaker opponent.
It happens.
Hear me? Is my phone freezing?
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Tell everybody where they can find you,
they
can find out when your next fight is. Okay.
Find me on Facebook at Shay, S-H-A Metcalf. Find me on Twitter at Shay Metcalf on Twitter, and find me on Instagram, The Real Slim Goody.
Yes, I thank you for dropping in. I appreciate you. We're gonna talk real soon. I'll keep everybody posted on what's going on too.
All right. Talk to y'all
I'll see
later.
you soon, girl. I'll see you soon. Okay,
Real
bye-bye.
soon.
Real
Bye.
soon. That's right, bye. She's always so fun to have on the show. She
You
is.
know, for everybody that's in the area, I mean, even when she fights outside, but if you're in the DFW area, follow her, okay? And if you haven't just seen her fight or gone to one of her fights, you got to go. Like
Yeah.
it's
She puts on
fun.
the show.
She puts on a show. I mean, she's got like great fans. I mean, you just all you
Yes.
hear. I know I'm out there whistling chicken. You know, it's a lot of fun. She puts on a really great show, and she's a heck of a fighter. You know,
She
she's a
is.
heck of a fighter. She's a tough one. So, you know, for all our friends here in the DFW, just make it a point to get out to one of Chicken's fights.
Absolutely. Santel Media, thank you. 500 subs. Yeah, keep it coming. Keep it coming. So I want to talk about Christina Cruz. Y'all had Christina Cruz on the show last night. Love her. I've had the pleasure of working with her. Oh, Lee Grove said, how did she pick up the nickname Chicken? When she was in high school, she was a runner, and she's very thin, but she was thinner then, and she ran track, and they used to call her legs chicken sticks. So she just cut it to chicken. It's funny.
Yes. And she
she's
changed
funny.
she changes it up too. Like, so she'll spell chicken CHICCIN.
Yes. Yeah, she does. She
So-
does. So last night y'all had Christina Cruz on the show. We've had her here too. I've had the pleasure of working with her. She's such a great interview. She's so easy. She's so beautiful inside and out. Lovely fighter. MJNP, sorry. The rest of the crew is working. They'll be back next week. You have to deal with us tonight. Just us. Just us. Sorry. Not sorry. But anyway, so tell us about that interview. Tell us what was going on and your feeling about Christina.
I can't tell you. Okay, so I want to preface with I always thank you because you have really helped me get into the women's boxing, a lot more, just, watching more of the historical fights, who to follow and all of that. But someone that I have kept an eye on is Christina Cruz. She has, I mean, over 200 amateur fights. This woman's amateur career is outstanding. And she decided to go pro. And so she just won her second, I think it's her second pro fight. And she did really well. But let me tell you about Christina just outside of the ring. She's just got this, and you've actually like met her in person and worked with her directly. I can tell you as a fan, what I see is just someone that is so genuine. That is, you can just tell this light, energetic, fierce spirit. And she talked a lot about, the environment that she's in. So she is training at the same gym where you have Cambosos, where you have Xander. Okay. And she just said that the energy there is like phenomenal. She's like, Nancy, in D style, there's no hate. She's like, she's been boxing, of course, for a very long time. She's like, there's always going to be a person. There's always going to be that vibe. She's like, none of that. Everybody's just feeding off each other and motivating each other. So she's in a good place, in a good environment with a good team and a good support system. But I really admire her for a couple years ago. She was very open and vocal about, as a female fighter, as a boxer, this being her career, her desire to also have a family at some point when the time is right. So she has been, if you haven't seen, you can search, I think like even on Facebook, you search her name, like back in 2018, she talked a lot about actually freezing her eggs because she's like, I want a family. Like that is her goal in life. She's like, as a female athlete, our clocks tick.
Yeah, sure.
And she's like, I want a plan. So she's able to do what she loves and has now prepared herself to build a family when she's ready. And I just, I admire that because
absolutely.
as a full-time working female mother, it's like you want to have it all. It's hard to balance, and this woman's making it work as a professional
Yes.
athlete. Phenomenal. And she's so open about it. Which is
Yes.
great, because I think there's other female boxers, that are either up and coming or, have been in the game
Yeah.
for a while, that could look to her, and find that empowerment, through what she shared.
Well, even non-boxers. I mean, there's women that have different careers.
Oh,
They
for sure.
just
Yeah.
have family one day, but they want to build. They want to build, and then they see her story and they see her example, and there's hope for them. Especially
Yep.
in this time that we live in. There are other alternatives.
Mhm.
And I think it's fabulous.
Yep.
That she is
Yep.
so vocal, because for whatever reason, sometimes society puts shame upon you. Like, oh, well, why don't
Exactly.
you just do it like everybody else? Well, that's not how I want to do it. We all have choices today. So I love that she's vocal. I love that she's
Yep.
speaking about it, and that y'all had her speak about it on the show, for all the
Yep.
viewers. I thought
And
that
and
was
I did ask her. So I did ask her. If you go back on archive and watch last night's show, I did ask her ahead of time. I said, "Hey, are you okay that I touch on this?
that's good.
It's something that I really admire." And she was like, all about it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it'll be so different than every other interview."
Right,
um,
right.
and she was welcoming it because it's something that's really, really important to her. So, please follow her. If you're
Yeah.
not. And I'd love to hear from you, Christine, because you have worked with her. You've gotten to know her, more than we as fans,
Yeah.
have gotten to know her.
She really is everything that you said. I mean, when she walks in, she lights up the room. She's been friends for years with everybody on Team USA that have gone pro, that are still amateur. She's
Mhm.
very loyal. She's great work, sparring. Her work ethic is amazing. She's very talented. She's such a sweet, sweet young lady. She really is.
Yeah.
I love her.
Mhm.
She's great. I have nothing but good things to say about her. I've worked with her up here in camp, and then our other young lady, Jenny Fuchs, was had to fight against her. We had to see who was going to go to the Olympics, and I worked Christina's corner. So it was quite an honor. She's very talented. I'm so happy. I know that at one time she said she was not going to go pro, and she did, but she
Mhm.
seems very happy. So,
Yep.
It's all about timing. It's all about doing whatever you feel that you need to do, and not really worrying about what other people say. So I'm very proud of
Absolutely.
her for following her dreams and doing everything exactly the way she wants to do it, when she wants to do it.
And
I
it's
have much
such good
respect for that.
timing. And you know what, Christy? It's such good timing because of what we're seeing in this evolution of women's boxing.
Yes.
You have Eddie Hearn just really giving the platform more to women, female boxers, than what we've seen perhaps in the
Yes.
past, right? And I think it's fantastic. We're seeing a lot of female boxing fights in these undercards, right?
Yep.
Which is really great. I'm all for it. So uh,
Absolutely.
I'll be watching Christina. She's
Oh yeah,
great. I'm
and let me
telling
tell
you.
you something. She has the hottest corner wear that I've ever seen. I mean, her shorts, oh my gosh. I mean, just it's not too girly, it's not masculine, it's just perfect. I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. Like
Yes.
she's dressed the best to me in the game right now. And speaking of women fighters, there was Ramallah Ali that fought last weekend as well. From the UK. She's originally from Somalia, and I'm very impressed with her. I'm very impressed with her. I don't know if you got to see her fight or not. Did you see any
I
of her clips?
didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't, but I have heard the name, and you've shared with me, like, this woman
Yes,
has an amazing story.
she does. She does. She
Unbelievable.
does. She does, and she's written a book too. So I had I was watching her fight. I did. So I was in Tokyo at the Olympics, and she was there as well. And she was representing Somalia, I believe, and she was the only one, and she was there with her coach, who is also her husband. A social scientist says Romali has the best job on women's boxing. She let me tell you. So she's also a model. Okay, she's a model. She's a boxer. She's written a book, but I didn't know too much about her. I just saw her fight last weekend, and I thought, wow, this girl has some talent. So I started digging deeper, and I had seen an interview that she did with Dr. And I know I'm going to chop up this name, butcher it. I'm sorry, Dr. Rangan Chatterjee. He's Indian descent. He lives in the UK. So I started watching the YouTube show, and let me tell you something. This woman is unbelievable. She started modeling so that she could pay for boxing, so that she could travel with her team, with her national team, because she was getting no funding. She went to the Olympics, no funding, all on her own. She said she didn't even have, any gear or anything. She was wearing jeans, walking around. Everybody else is in their, country's colors and looking amazing. But she did it all on her own. She got there on her own. And awesome. She also talks about being a refugee. She came, so her country of Somalia was under civil war, a civil war. Her brother was killed, and her mother immediately said, we're leaving, we're going to the UK. Well, it wasn't that simple. They have so many stories. She's written a book. It's called 10 Steps to Becoming Your Own Champ. And I'm definitely gonna get that probably tomorrow, because she just really impressed me so much. She's got some stories in there about her struggle, about being, a refugee, about the whole stereotypical being an immigrant, also her religious beliefs. She talks about having her hijab ripped off, and just being humiliated. And so the doctor asked her, well, do you think this is why you became a boxer? Because of this anger and the way that you were treated. And I started thinking, anybody that's involved in boxing, we have a story. There's something, there's a reason that drives us, and it's such a beautiful thing, because you can take the negativity, you can take the anger, you can take the hurt, and you can turn it into something amazing, as she has done, and now I'm just so much more of a fan. I want her to come on our show. I want to talk to her, and I want to tell her how amazing I think she is. She had a quote, and I love it. She said, be brave enough to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's so true.
I love that.
I mean, how many of us do that? Or do we think, oh, I'm embarrassed. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't want to look like a fool. Those are those self-doubts that we put into our own heads, when we're meant to do some great things, but we don't, because of self-doubt. But that phrase, I'm just like, yes, girl, absolutely.
I love that. So empowering. Her story is so empowering. I think not just to women, but I mean to all people. Just
absolutely.
Her hearing a story that's and that's so many of the stories in the sport of boxing. That I will tell you, that's one of the reasons why I love this sport. When I think back to when I really started falling in love with the sport, it was because I was learning about these stories behind the boxers, right? Like the trials and tribulations that these fighters go through, or what happened in their lives, where boxing ended up being that outlet for them. I love those stories. So hearing her story of just what hardship and everything that she went through, I'm motivated too to also read her story. I would love that. You and I think I know you and I have talked about how we understand that fighters do have to have some with every athlete, especially in a professional setting, like that privacy, right? Like they do have to keep aspects of their life private.
Sure.
But I feel like when they share these stories about themselves, it's part of their brand, and it helps with winning over, the fans, right? Because
Right,
it's like they
right.
relate to you, or they just can, um, really, like, the story can really resonate, with fans, and then you have the following. And that's why, you touching on that and sharing that story for people that know the mission that I'm on, to build this nonprofit. It's because I hear stories like that. It's like, how many, you know, think about the kids that are out there that have or are in a similar situation, or just, a hardship situation, where something like boxing can be that outlet for this individual and
Absolutely.
completely steer them away from what could be, a life of struggles and, crime, even just to uh, have the outlet to deal with whatever, they're dealing with. The sport, I think, is amazing with that. You
Absolutely.
you hear a lot of people that, hey, I was bullied, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I started doing this. I mean, again, there's that struggle story. But I think it's great. I'm definitely gonna follow her. Um,
Yeah.
and you shared that, I mean, because they left the country in the way that they did. Um, Documents, everything. I mean, they left
Yeah,
everything
she
behind.
doesn't even know how old she is, really. They left behind birth certificates and everything, and she doesn't even know her true age, you know.
Yeah.
She shared that they said that she was a few years older than she actually was, so that she could go to school, so she could get free meals, because they didn't
Mhm.
have food when they first came to the UK. And you do hear those stories over and over again. My husband and I have
Yes.
opened a gym, and we've had a gym since 2007. It's because we had some very not fairy book,
Mhm.
childhoods,
Mhm.
and we wanted to help others.
Mhm.
And for a
Mhm.
lot, we are mom and dad, and or the second mom and dad, and our gym is a home or a second home.
Yep.
So yes, there are these stories, and it brings certain group of people together. And whether you're a boxer or doing a nonprofit or whatever it is, there's something that draws us all together, and it's beautiful. Boxing
Yep.
is a very small world. It really is.
Well, you share about you and your husband, and thanks for sharing that. It makes, so thinking of me growing up, the era that I grew up in and the area that I grew up in, gangs, it was just
Mhm.
really, really heavy. And I had so many friends that were beaten to a pulp, were just victims of the violence on the street. And I think back, and what a difference if my little farming community would have had one boxing gym.
Yeah, right,
You know,
right.
how that could
Yes,
have really turned around some lives. So I think what you and your
absolutely.
husband are doing is absolutely fantastic. It
We love
you know,
it.
it also it I was sharing with you that I was watching an interview that Luki did with ITR Boxing.
Uh-huh.
And he was interviewing a boxer, Robin Safar, I think is his name. He's a Swedish boxer, and they were touching on the violence that is going on over there. And you hear this individual talk about, just how he's over here in the Americas making things, work for him and his family, but he still has family and friends back home, and, just trying to get, friends and family out of that situation, and kind of, war zone environment that they're in. And it's like, oh my gosh, again,
Hmm.
every boxer has a story, and I absolutely love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Centeo Media said the fighters' backstories are my favorite part of boxing. Albert Baker from Under the Hand Wraps does
Mhm.
great videos capturing these stories. I'm gonna have to check that out because I love it. And
Yes,
Lee
I've
Groves,
started to
yes, we're all
watch
family.
those.
Oh, did you? See,
Yes.
I'm behind. I need to
Yep.
get with the program.
Yes. So absolutely. I'm sorry if I lost sight of who said that, but yes. So not that I've been
Centeo
watching
Media.
for. Okay, Santheo, I started to watch, and you're absolutely right. So it's Under the Hand Wraps, and follow them. They're Under the Hand Wraps on Instagram and I
Okay,
think
I'm following them
YouTube.
for sure.
Yep, YouTube and
Okay.
um, Twitter and everything. And so they put some really, really nice stories together.
Okay, no, I love that because we all do have a backstory and we don't know how our story can impact somebody else. And you know, again, like I said, we were talking about Christina, it's like sometimes society makes you feel ashamed or inadequate, less than, whatever. And and we just can't allow that. Remy,
Yeah.
bye. Thank you so much for listening.
Remy rocks.
Buenos
Hey, thank you,
noches.
Remy.
Yes, you do. Mwah. Besos. We will see you soon. Talk to you soon for sure. Yeah, we just we need to do better as a society. We need to do better. That's for sure. But I want to talk about the fights this weekend. Now you have given your prediction, and tell me why.
So
Tell me why you predicted what you did.
okay. So I keep saying you and I. So we've talked about, you know, when we use our boxing brain,
Yes.
you know, sometimes we make the predictions with the heart. And
Right.
okay, so really and truly, I'm gonna tell you, I really don't have a horse in this game. In this race, I
Right.
should say. Like, I really don't. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm like a diehard JoJo fan, or oh my gosh,
Right.
you know, Haney.
Yeah.
Not at
Same.
all. So I'll preface with that. I am not a Haney fan. So I just think that inside and outside of the ring, you know, it's like I've told D Style on some other boxers, no me cae. You know?
Yeah.
No me cae. You know, he tries to be a shit talker. Doesn't really work for Haney. You know, he doesn't have power, you know, but he does have the skills, you know, and I hear it. I know everybody in the chat's going to say, you know, skills pays the bills. So I agree with that. But I'm rooting for JoJo, and this is why. I like the JoJo that we got back. Okay. So JoJo came
Yes,
back
agreed.
like more focused, more improved, more polished. You know, he's talked about JoJo feels like he's now in his prime, right? He's outside of the ring. It seems like things are stable and good. He's got, you know, his new baby. So I think that JoJo and the corner are pretty solid. I don't feel by any means that it's going to be there's going to be a knockout. I don't think so, because I really don't think that either one of them have the power to knock, you know, either one out. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I think that JoJo really can give him, you know, a run for his money. I'm thinking, you know, is Haney going to come in the way that Theo came in, with all that, you know, anxiety and pressure, and just kind of bat out of hell, you know, into the first round looking to knock out? If he does, you know, huge mistake, because he's going to open himself up, and that's going to be an opportunity for JoJo.
Absolutely. Lee, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I know.
I didn't know about the 7-inch longer reach. I didn't know about that.
I know.
I did know about I was going to say the scar tissue, and also erase the late struggles versus Lanatas. Yes, those two. So D-Style says he's now JoJo.
Because have you seen the pictures?
He does look like Cambosos. He does.
And there there were people that thought Cambosos was like raza, like Latino, you know.
I mean, you know, if they told me he had something, you know, Spanish, Mexican, South American, I would believe it, you know. I'm gonna be real corny. Okay, I'm gonna be really corny. I'm picking Haney, okay? Now, because of, the boxing facts that Lee Groves has put forth.
Yes.
But I'm going to be really corny, okay? So I believe I was at, I think I was at Virgil Ortiz's fight or something. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But I was at a fight and Haney was there. So I'm on Media Row, you know, and I see this young man come in, and everybody's taking pictures, and he's very gracious. He's taking pictures and blah, blah, blah. Well, he stops taking pictures. He comes over to me, and I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am, can I borrow your phone charger? Is this your charger?" I was like, "Yeah, this is my charger. You can borrow my phone charger." So he borrows my phone charger, and you know what? God forgive me. I was thinking, you know what? He probably won't even bring it back, but it's okay. He can have it. I can just say, Haney has my phone charger. Yay! You know. Well, like 30 minutes later, here it comes. Thank you for letting me use your phone charger. And I was like, What a nice young man.
You know,
What a nice young man. He borrowed it. He said, please. He said, thank you. That's a good guy. So I'm picking Haney for the boxing facts that Lee said, because that was what I would say if I never met him.
mhm.
And also because I'm a little corny.
I like it. You know what? That just again, that just solidifies. I mean, he's not a shit talker. Like that's
Right,
just
right, right,
it's not
right.
something that comes natural to him. And when he was having that conversation, that face off with Teofimo, I'm like, oh my gosh, that just is not in his favor.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, he's not. He's not that mean guy. He's not.
yeah.
I don't see it. My husband is texting me on my phone. I have it on sleep mode, but I'm still getting texts. And he says JoJo wins. He's got more of an amateur pedigree, and he's lefty. So
Thank
our house will
you.
be divided. Our house will be divided. Yes, because
Yes.
of the charger. No, Paulo Baxianos. Yes, I told you it was going to be corny. I told you. I mean, yeah.
No, I'm actually okay with that being one of the reasons. I echo the corniness and agree with it. So hey, so this is a little
The
different
dance
because
corner.
yeah.
but mostly because of what Lee said, because we were on the same mindset, except I didn't know about the reach advantage. So now, yes,
You know what? I didn't know that it was exactly 7 inches, but I did know that he had a
that's a
reach
lot.
advantage, you
That's
know.
a lot.
But we need to see him use that
We do.
advantage to his advantage,
Absolutely.
right? So we went
Absolutely.
back to like talking
Absolutely.
about how Figueroa does. He does a good job of doing that. We need Haney to do the same.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Yes, I just no me cae Haney. So I don't like maybe
You're
now
gonna
I
see
do a
him
little
one
bit.
day, and he's gonna
Hey,
ask you for your charger,
he
and then
was,
you're gonna be
you know
offended.
what? If he was good manners, then
Good
okay.
manners.
He now
Yeah.
he's got a little check then on my little tab here.
Right.
So okay, that's the only one he has so far. But it's
Exactly.
because you know what? I want that. It is the year of like the underdog, don't you think? Like I feel like it is. And I want to see JoJo continue this streak, you know. He's been
Yes.
doing
Yes.
well. And
Yeah, he has.
I forgot, you know, your husband pointing out, you know, that he's also, you know, southpaw. I mean,
And he
that's
said
gonna
he's
be
a boxer puncher too.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I
So
mean that's cool. He'll
yep.
somebody's gonna owe somebody $1 in the house. I don't know who it's gonna be, he or I. No, Paul Baxiano said, "Did you let Triple G borrow your car? Is that why you like him?"
No,
I
you know
like
what? You should say you're the one that lent him the gorra that he's been wearing.
right.
You know, the little Tejano
No,
hat.
you know why I like him? Because he's the only one that gave Canelo the business. The business.
You know what? I had your back last night.
You did.
So
You
I can't
did.
say I don't I like Triple G. I do.
Yes.
But I don't like him more than Canelo. But
Right,
and
right,
D Style
right.
is on. I was telling D Style this, you know, there is a very, very strong Mexican fan base for Triple G.
Absolutely, there is.
People don't
Absolutely.
realize that.
Yeah, but he did exactly what he needed to do. He learned Spanish. He catered to the Mexican audience. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yep.
You give the people what they want, and he can fight. So
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right.
Lee Grove says you are right. This is the year of the underdogs. Made my predictions look bad. Lee,
Yeah.
no, we're sticking to our prediction. We're sticking to our prediction with Haney.
Yeah.
And we're going to win.
Hey, you almost swayed me to Haney with that Charger story, but I'm gonna stick with
Right,
JoJo.
right. Yeah, that almost did it. I know. It's crazy.
I'm
And
gonna
I have so many stories like that. But you know.
Hey, who's on the undercard? I'm sure Lee knows. I
Yeah,
haven't
Lee,
looked.
who's on the undercard? Because I
Yeah,
do
who's
not.
on the undercard? I'm curious now. I haven't paid attention. I should know this.
And while we're waiting for that, and no pressure, Lee. We can
I know.
we're like, while we're waiting
We put
for
Lee to work
to tell us who's on the undercard. Santiago Media said, once Gigi fired Abel Sanchez, he lost the round card. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, all right. I can see that. But I want to know, is anyone in the chat or Nancy, is anybody interested? And I'm not trying to be ugly, guys. I promise I'm not. But is anyone interested in the tank fight? I mean, now that the opponent has been changed. I mean, who's interested in it? Are you interested in that fight?
No. No, at all.
Yeah,
You know, and then on top of that, like it's a pay-per-view fight.
I
This should
know.
this should not be a pay-per-view fight. I mean,
I agree.
seriously. And in this era of, you know, how many followers, how many pay-per-view fights, you know, I'm sorry, numbers, you know, did so and so make. I mean, it's gonna look ugly, you know.
Right.
And it's gonna be quite embarrassing because I really don't think that there's gonna be. I might be wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's some hardcore Tank fans, you know,
Yes,
that
there
are gonna
are.
watch anyway. I just
Sure.
don't think, you know, I'm not gonna watch it. You know, I'll
I'm
watch
not
it after.
excited about it. I'm not excited about it. God willing, I'm planning on going to Surdo Ramirez's fight in San
Oh,
Antonio.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, my husband sent me the undercard. I'm sorry. I'm just like,
Oh, thank you.
let me see. Montana Love versus Carlos Diaz. Jessica McCatskill against Candy Wyatt.
Okay.
And that's the ones. So we haven't seen Jessica in a while, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be good.
I didn't know she was on. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll want to watch that.
Okay, and then Sonteo Media says Alexis Espinosa 9-0 is the undercard. He's a middleweight from Las Vegas. Trains with Robert Mark Castro on the UC as well. Okay, good. And D Style says he pondered. Okay, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, D Styles? What's he talking
No.
about? He said he didn't cater, and then he said he pondered. Okay, Lee Grove said the same thing. Montana Love, Carlos Diaz, Jessica McCaskill,
Okay.
Candy Wyatt,
Yeah.
Flip Hargovic, Amir, I'm not even going to try. White is a late sub because Victoria Bustos had travel issues. Yeah, okay. Well, with this new variant of COVID, you know, I'm hoping we're not going to see more of that.
You know that's one of the first things I thought of. I was gonna be like, oh shoot, now we're gonna see fights getting canceled or,
Yeah,
you know, something. You know, nothing yet. You know, crossing fingers. I mean, really and truly, this was a great year for boxing. Has been. I know the year isn't over, but it was just so nice, you know, to be able to get back to the fights and,
yeah.
you know, letting fights happen.
Oh, so D Styles was saying Triple D didn't cater to Mexicans. He pandered. Oh, whatever. Bye. Lee Grove says you put me to work. Am I hired? Absolutely, Lee. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
You got the job.
That's right. You got the job. Ignacio White is Triple G is Raza.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Hi,
is.
Ignacio.
Yes, he is.
He's invited to the
Oh.
carne asada. You know what, Ignacio? There's a picture somewhere out there where you see Triple G and he's doing like a carne asada for some of the workers. I don't know if he was like at a construction site or having construction at his house or what the heck, or he just said, hey, come over. The carnitas are ready. But you can see Triple G like at the disco, like just making carnitas.
Love it. Love it. That's a true boxing fan. Life-threatening disease is announced, and the first thing you think of is canceling fights. Social scientists, I'm sorry. I know. That's horrible, right?
I know, right?
Yeah, we're
I
bad.
know.
We're like, no.
Not the
We've been
fight.
on such a streak. Like, I mean, we've had boxing like every weekend, and I mean, great fights.
You know what?
No,
Let's
you
have
know?
a moment of like just gratitude because let's go back
Absolutely.
to when there was no boxing.
Right.
When
We can't take
everything
it
was
for granted.
people not getting
Like,
paid, right?
yes.
You know,
Yes.
then we had the bubble
Yes.
and that kept us alive for a bit. And I know everybody was cheering, you know, when we were finally able to get out to the fights
Absolutely.
and now
And
we're
not to
on a
mention,
roll.
let's just get even deeper. You know, because like I said, my husband and I have a boxing gym,
Mhm.
and our boxers were sitting idle, and they were getting depressed, and they were just so down. You
Yeah.
know, it's like boxing. It helps. You know, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but it really does. And so it won't only be amateurs, it'll be pros, it'll be us boxing heads. You know, it's like we need to keep going. You know,
Yeah.
we're here to this
Absolutely.
situation that we're in.
No, you know, think about because we go back to what we were talking about earlier, just what the sport means to people and what it helps people with, right? And being
Yeah.
that outlet. So not only did you have, people emotionally, like you said, just idle and affected by
Yes.
it, people's pockets were. So just think about a fight.
Yeah.
Think about all the vendors, think about all the employees, that get hired to work the fight, all the way down to, hotels and transportation.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
it not having a fight has this, economic impact that is
Yes.
far more than what we the fans see. So
Absolutely. It's not
yeah.
just our entertainment, it's people's livelihood.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So when fights are canceled, where we've seen that, hey, someone got COVID, fights canceled,
Yeah,
right? It's impacting a lot of people. It's impacting a
it
lot of
is.
people.
It really
Yeah.
is. It really is. It trickles. It trickles. The GOAT Mario P said it is a 50-50 fight. You know what it really is? It really is a 50-50 fight.
It's going to be a good fight.
It's going to be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. But like I said, if it weren't for my phone charger, I don't know. I may be swayed to go the other way. I don't know. But,
You know what? I'm glad you shared it.
yes, absolutely.
He's got a
So,
check mark now.
Ignacio said Jojo gonna get schooled. Let's be real. I mean, that's what I think. Haney's boxing ability is his IQ is higher in my opinion.
Yeah.
Does he have power? I've heard that he does not. But you know what? Yes. But he can outbox him. A lot of people say Kambosos didn't have power, but you keep getting hit in the same spot over and over again. Just like Tio did, and the amounts of punches thrown, they do add up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Santiago Media said, I'm sure Triple G's promoter Tom Loeffler had a genius marketing plan behind the Mexican style advertisement. Absolutely, it was genius. It worked. I mean, it worked for me. I was sold.
Yeah. And it's like I was saying last night, they went about it the right way. So they went over the Mexican, the Latino fan base, the right way.
Absolutely.
Where I think we've seen some fighters, I think they can just throw on the sombrero and
Right.
immediately we're gonna be like, yeah,
Right. Yeah. Well, there was some, let me see, mixed emotions, on Fulton when he wore, his Mexican gear colors, against Figueroa. And there were some people that were offended. There were some people that thought it was funny. There were some people that thought, why not? Mayweather did it.
Oh my gosh. But you know what?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you, Christine. Okay. I remember when Mayweather did it.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so upset. And I just remember being like, what the heck? What is he doing? Is he mocking us? Like what is this?
Yeah.
And I have heard that Fulton actually had the outfit already because the fight was originally supposed to happen, in September. So he said that the plan was to wear that kind of in a support of 16 de septiembre, something of the sort. But I'm like, okay, well then maybe it would have worked, if you were trying to kind of honor that. But I don't know.
Yeah. So Slide Encounter said Roger Mayweather used to do it too, and Ignacio said Mayweather and Tank do it to make us mad.
It works, Ignacio. I get all enojada. I'm like, take it off.
From Uncle Roger, the Mexican assassin.
Yeah.
And then the GOAT Mario P said Mexican fighters would be demonized if they gave back the same energy, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You bring up a good point. I mean, you bring up a great point. If we did it, wore this, someone else's culture or whatever, how would we be looked at?
So it would be like, okay, so how Canelo, is not going to go into cruiserweight and he's, going to fight, someone that is African, right? And so imagine Canelo walking out, to some type of, tribal,
sure,
cultural outfit. Can you imagine that? Like, how would that be received?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I do think that it would not be received the same. Honestly, yeah, I remember when Mayweather did it, and I didn't like it either. When Fulton did it, I don't know if he thought it through, to be disrespectful, or if he really did want to pay homage. I don't know. I don't know what his tactics were, or what his way of thinking was. I really
Yeah.
try harder now that I'm older not to let things like that get to me, because I think that
Yes.
that's where the divide comes,
Yes.
in so
Yes.
many situations. So I really do try. I'm not perfect. Of
Yes.
course, there are some things that are going to tick me off. But in that situation, I really just tried to say, you know what, we got two fighters, and I just want to see what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. I think I was more upset that it was not a draw, than what he was wearing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why I did say back in the day when I was a lot younger
Right,
and
absolutely.
Mayweather did that, I was livid. And now
And
I'm like, okay, yeah.
oh yeah, no, Camacho did have the best outfits. Oh my gosh.
Oh
But
gosh.
so
Who
I had
said
gotten
that?
a comment,
Slight
Slide
encounter?
Encounter. He did. I
He
loved it. So
did.
I got a comment here. Roger Mayweather, the Mexican assassin. Chavez destroyed him in two. Just put it out there. Just put it out there.
Yep.
But
Boom.
but anyway.
Hector
So we've got
Camacho
some
did.
great fights coming up. We've got some great things coming up.
I know.
Um,
I know. It's
I just appreciate, the chat, the conversation, our regulars that always come on, Nancy, Lee Grove said, never had a problem. Nobody wants to emulate red-headed West Virginians.
Wait, Lee, you need to watch. Okay, so Lee, you need to watch last night's show with D Style because we gave major ginger props.
Yes, y'all did.
Major.
Yes, y'all did.
And
Yes, y'all did.
you know what? I'm like, it's the year for the gingers. It's your year. Claim 2022.
Yes.
So there you go.
Absolutely. OG Sinister, salute Christine, and the other female co-hosts. Thanks for holding down, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
OG.
appreciate you.
Thank you. OG
Appreciate
Sinister's
you.
been very supportive. So I have gone back and seen, comments and, really grateful for the support from everybody.
Absolutely. We love y'all. We do.
I-
And we're so glad that y'all tune in every Wednesday. We try to talk about the latest topics in boxing, and then some that aren't so.
Yeah.
And yes, we redheads do have souls. We know you do, Lee. We know you do. Absolutely. Yes. We love you. We love everybody. But Nancy, any parting words? Let's talk about your Tuesday. Talk about the Wednesday. What else you're doing? Let's talk about it all.
So first of all, going back to, it's such a great year, for boxing, and it's not over. We still have the whole month of December, lined up with some really great fights. We know Xander's coming back. So I just love it. I've talked about how this, sport, being on the show with you. Thank you for always, having me on and giving me the platform. It's like therapeutic for me, y'all. Like, I love this.
Same.
Like, I can have like a total crap day, and then I'm like, now I get to be with my people, right?
Yes,
And talk
yes.
about this sport that we love. So thank you to everybody. So yes, so on Tuesdays, you can catch me now with D Style. Thank you, D Style. Shout out for believing and giving me the opportunity. We'll be co-hosting the HCP show. And as you know, we have this amazing network. So shout out to the network. Shout out to
Absolutely.
HCP. And there's always something going on every day, Sunday through Saturday. There's a show on the network. So, follow me at Boxing Republic. I'm trying to do some good, y'all. So like all of us boxing fans can get together and do some good in the boxing communities. So that's my goal, working towards it. And please follow Christine. Subscribe. I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. And I just want to tell you, so the whole idea for Women Crushing It Wednesdays was not to be so formal and stiff shirt. It
Mhm.
was about us sitting around at a bar, at a restaurant,
Yeah.
talking boxing, and having the comments. And I'm working on getting a phone line so that we can have people call in. That's going to be coming real soon in this next new year that's coming in. But that was the whole idea. So for me too, this is a time to degress, talk to my
Mhm.
people, talk about boxing. Obviously, I'm in camp right now, so I can't pop a cold one. But when I get home, I will be. And we'll continue the conversation next Wednesday. I will be. Actually, I'll be at USA Nationals, but it'll be all good.
Hey, so I know we're wrapping it up, but you continue to do such amazing things. Like, huge shout out to you and to your husband, the family. I know it takes a village, but you're doing some amazing things, and we're just so darn proud of you. And honestly, so fortunate, to call you a friend, and I just love everything that you're doing. And for everybody that's watching, Christine is always really great about telling us what's going on and giving us an insight, so like vicariously, we can live like the Olympics. I mean, how phenomenal was that? And I love that you were like making us a part of that. So salute, and like, high five, girl, because you're
Well,
doing some
I feel the same about
awesome
you,
stuff.
all that you're doing, and you know what? We're just doing what we love, and we're sharing it. That's all. And Lee, yeah, you know what? Yes, we heard about it in June. My husband and I, and my girl, Stacy, have been talking about it, and hopefully Nancy can join too. If I'm in the country, I'm going to be there. And if you're going, I hope you do. We can have dinner, and we can just continue this conversation, and the conversations that we have every Wednesday. So I hope so. I hope to make it. When the pandemic hit, it was over. We went to the last one before the pandemic in June. It was amazing. But anyway, good night. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, please share, please like, and we will see y'all next Wednesday. But y'all will see Nancy on Tuesday.
Yes, thank you. We'll talk to
Yes.
everybody soon. And I did put last night's show in the chat, so if you missed it, please go back and watch.
Yes, absolutely. Lee said thanks. Y'all have a good night. God bless.
Good
And we'll
night,
talk real
everybody.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. God bless. Bye.